See, it takes a while for me to see it.
Yeah, well, we're on now. We're live, and it's Thursday, and Sean will be here in a few minutes, and then George is here, and me, and we got a guest today, Angel Harrelson. She's going to come on, and she's the wife of a J6er, and she's going to tell us all about her experiences. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out do our prayer first, like we normally do, and then we'll go ahead and bring Angel in. But this is, many are saying of me, God will not deliver him. But you, Lord, are a shield around me, my glory, the one who lifts my head high. And that's Psalm 3:2. And it's whatever trial or situation you find yourself in and you're suddenly facing the fight of your life, it's important to ask others to join with you in the battle. When the Israelites battled the Amalekites, Joshua succeeded against the enemy when Moses held his arms up. But as the battle raged, Moses grew tired. Try holding your arms up for an entire day. When he lowered his arms, the Israelites started losing. So Aaron and Hur figured out that if Israel was going to win this battle, they were going to have to help Moses keep his arms up. So when your life is on the line and you don't have the strength on your own to pray or praise or keep your faith up, that's when praying friends need to come to your rescue. And I thought with Angel coming on and talking about the fight that they went through, that would be real pertinent for us for today.
Yep, correct. Excellent.
That's what I wanted to say.
So I still don't see that on my iPhone.
Hi, Sean.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Sean. How are you?
Good morning, everybody.
How's everything going?
All right.
I thought that the cabinet meeting was pretty good there. They were questioning Trump about if he's going to do anything with the generals about the what happened in Afghanistan. And he said, well, I think everybody should be fired. And he leaned over to Pete. He leaned over to Pete. What do you think there, Pete?
Yeah, Pete's going to have a little bit of investigation. Yeah, some of this investigation may find, right, that these generals told Biden not to do this.
From what I understand, they did tell Biden. I still ain't getting it up. I still ain't getting the chat up yet.
There was I don't know. We were talking about this last night, but this is for everybody else. If you were watching that cabinet meeting yesterday, Trump was talking and they were going on about, the reporters asking the questions. And one reporter said something, a real stupid question to Trump, and he muttered underneath his breath. And if you caught it, it was real fast. But he said, we have a real Pulitzer Prize winner here. And you can see Pete Hegseth just start cracking up and Lutnick cracking up and everything. But I always pay attention to those because he mumbles quite a bit. And some of the stuff he says is really funny.
Yeah, he likes to do a lot of things. What he does things like to play a game. Like he'll say it, but not loud enough so everybody can hear it. But whoever catches it, it's good. He does that. He does those things on purpose. It's funny.
Well, it's funny, speaking of Trump, I heard a stat yesterday on Philadelphia conservative radio that he's answered well over 1,000 questions so far since he's been in office. And I think normal average for a president in their first month of office is somewhere maybe close to 100. So he's been in front of the press constantly. He's given them constant.
Biden did 114, I think. That's what he did.
I need to bring Angel on and lock my dog up. I got a squirrel on my deck. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to bring you on, Angel, and then I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hello, my Louisiana girl.
Hey, George.
Good morning, Angel. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good. My dog's sitting behind me on my chair.
Yeah. That's the one that tried to knock me over.
Yeah. No, that's the other one.
How you doing? All right?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Just been embroidering some patches. That's all.
Yeah, I saw. Nice. I like the colors and stuff. Pretty good job. Hey, Angel, tell us a little bit about yourself so we could tell everybody in the chat. You can tell everybody in the chat who you are, what you do.
My name's Angel Harrelson. I'm the wife of a retired Army Sergeant, Kenneth Harrelson, and he's also a J6er. He served 38 months Yeah, 38 months, I believe. 36 or 38, I can't remember. It was so long. But he served in the DC Gulag and inside the USP, United States Penitentiaries as well, for January 6th. And he's been home since April last year. So, and I also do embroidery work as well to get by. So if anybody wants to check it out, angelspatriotbattle.org.
Yeah, we'll put that up. One question is the day that they came to arrest Kenneth. Could you tell us the event about that day? Oh,
That was March 10th, 2021. They came to FBI, surrounded my front yard. They couldn't get to all of my backyard because I had a fence. But my husband Ken was actually on a ladder cleaning out the gutters in the front by the garage door. And they had their rifles. There was about 20 of them. They had their rifles, everything, all their guns pointed at him and told him to get down off the ladder. That was where it started. That's where all the heartache started. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. But ever since then, he was on diesel therapy for a little while. You know, he got held here in Florida for a couple of months, and then he got transferred to the DC Gulag in, I want to say May 6th of 2021. And he was there until he got sent to a couple of other prisons. He was in the West Virginia. I'm sorry. Trying to think of all. He's been to so many prisons and jails in the past 4 years.
Let me interrupt you 1 minute. What they did to explain what we're doing with Kevin was they call it a diesel therapy, which they keep on moving. They moved Kevin from jail to jail, and wait till he gets Kevin. Yeah, okay. I mean Kevin. Yeah. Kenneth, you know about what they were doing. They did that to a lot of prisoners. Okay, go ahead, Angel. Sorry about that. I wanted to explain about.
You're fine. Yeah, no, you're fine. The one place where he had started the abuse in the jail was Warsaw, Virginia. That was over there at the I don't forget the name of the jail. Shoot.
It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Just
yeah. Well, anyways, that was where they started putting him in the hole. Was over there in Warsaw.
And what is the hole? Can you explain that?
The hole is solitary confinement.
Okay.
But their excuse for putting him in there was medical reasons, which he did not have anything to do with the medical. It had to do with because he complained that his back was hurting and he was coughing up blood. So they stuck him in solitary confinement, and the nurses and the guards tortured him, like mentally tortured him. He was closed off. I didn't have contact with him for a week.
Wow.
So I had no idea what was going on until after the fact. After that, then the attorneys that we had at the time, they kept trying to get a hold of him, trying to get him transferred. And well, they was trying to get him transferred to Virginia, to Alexandria, the medical facility. But he didn't get transferred there. He got sent straight to the DC Gulag.
Oh, wow.
And he was in the DC Gulag from 2021 till 2024. Then once in 2024, he got transferred to Atlanta, United States Penitentiary. So he was in a medium high facility where they got murderers, rapists, pedophilia there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just, it was horrible.
What kind of, like, do you have kids?
We have 4. We consider it he has his, I have mine, but they're ours.
Well, how did that affect them? I mean, it had to be psychologically really traumatizing for them just to witness any of that and all of that going on too.
Oh, it did. But they kept their faith. They knew their dad was innocent, so they wouldn't let anyone tell them anything different.
Did they get bullied at school because of it?
No.
Wonderful.
Not really, because they never put 2 and 2 together. I told them to keep our personal stuff at home. If anybody talks about it, just tell them you don't know what they're talking about. So they never put 2 and 2 together. And except for the ones that were in high school, nobody really bothered him on that. They actually supported him.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but once the second to old, third to oldest, he finally went into the military, into the army.
I was hoping you bring it up.
And yeah, that right there, he got nothing but a heartache because of the fact they were harassing him about his dad, and because in the military they know everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the top person in the army that actually harassed him more than anyone. He had his life threatened. All of that. I would get calls from him, and it was heartbreaking because there was nothing I can actually do. I've tried to get a hold of a JAG attorney, and the JAG attorney even turned me down here in Florida.
Wow.
And he was stationed in California.
Yeah, he signed up for 6 years, right? And they
6
tell
years.
him what happened. Yeah, tell him what happened to him.
They kicked him out. They gave him honorable discharge and kicked him out.
Just because of his father.
Of who his dad is.
Wow.
That's unreal that they do that, you know. You wouldn't think coming out of the military that would happen. You really wouldn't, but you know, it's got to have changed so much, you know, since the Dems were in power. Because, you know, with the Republicans, they seem so military friendly, but the Democrats aren't.
I mean, is that even legal to do?
Well, they didn't put that. They didn't put that on paper. They didn't put that on paper. They put on paper medical.
Oh,
medical reason. But there was nothing wrong with him.
So they were just covering their butt then by even putting that down there.
Yeah.
Does that affect him, like for any benefits through the military or anything, or is he okay?
He's okay, but that affected him having any benefits or anything like that because he only did 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's including boot camp and AIT. So that's the training after boot camp. And he was combat.
How soon did he start getting pushback from people, you know, the higher ups in the army? Was that at boot camp, after boot camp?
It started in boot camp, but it didn't get worse until he got to California after AIT.
Yeah, gotcha.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, over there in California is where they said there's no cameras in the stairwell. You know, ain't nobody gonna see what happens. You know, that sort of stuff. And it's like, seriously?
It's unbelievable what the pushback that.
And that was the drill sergeants. That was the drill sergeants doing this.
Wow. I don't have that much experience with military, you know, to know some of this. I know like a lot of the stuff what you were saying is not right. They're not supposed to be doing that. But how your husband and stuff, now that he's out, is he doing okay? Or is he having issues like, you know, society wise, you know, coming back after having that done to him for so long?
He actually, at first, it took a little while. He was in a depression. He, you know, just didn't want to talk to nobody. He didn't want to do interviews. He just stayed to himself for a little while. But after a few months, it actually got better. He went back to work. He's He's talking to his friends. He talks to George sometimes. It takes a lot. And it also takes a toll on me because I have to let it go through one ear and out the other because I know it's not meant towards me. And it's heartbreaking to see him go through all this the past 4 years, but he is very strong. He's a tough man. He puts on a very good front that he is tough. And, yeah.
Yep.
And if you've seen, I sent you an email. This kind of stuff me and Ken would receive in the mail. He would get in the mail in the jail, and all the families would get these. And I had actually got a postcard in September of 2022. Ken was still in the DC gulag, and that's this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that.
This is the one of them I found that I forgot I had.
Wow. Beautiful.
Can you read it? Can you read it?
Yeah,
it's
read
a little tough to
Angel,
read.
read it.
Yeah, read it to us. It's a little
Okay.
tough to read.
It says, "Dear Beelzebub, Bellsbud." I don't know. It's hard to understand their typing. "It is I, your dear leader, Donald J. Trump, your favoritist president. I'm writing you this very beautiful letter to ask you to organize bimbos for Trump. Just picture a screaming mob of Karens all up in the face of the police, demanding to speak to the manager of the U.S. Capitol. Many people are saying it will make my next co-op a success. Just thinking about it, I'm already getting hard. Kofifi, whatever that means."
Yeah,
And it's
that was
Donald Trump's signature.
Yeah.
And they sent that they sent that to you? Did it come through the mail, or was it just in your mailbox?
No, it comes in the mail.
And it was that's like harassment.
And it's not. That's not the only one. That's not the only one they got.
Oh no, I got almost 100 of them.
When I was there, I went to go see him, and he got a postcard in the mail about sending Musk back to Africa and all that stuff, how much they were harassed and everything else. The card, and it, what they do is they mail it from different locations, so you can't, But the harassment, because it's sent out as a postcard. I mean, you could go to because
that's federal. Once it's in the post office.
Yeah, the one George is talking about that was the most recent one.
Yeah,
that's unreal.
Kenneth takes it out of the mailbox. He says, "Look, you see, I get this." So I look at it first. I said, "Oh, that's a nice postcard." Then I read it. I said, "What the f?"
A nice postcard, yeah.
No, but I think when I see stuff like that, I wonder, where do these people stop doing stuff, and where do they even get more dangerous, right? So it's something serious, I think.
Well, that's why when Kenneth came out, we made it our mission to meet Angel by the release place where they were holding him for a while, and we went there because we know they were harassing a lot of the guys coming out from Antifa and stuff like that. So it's very important for patriots to stand by the J6s. There's a lot of politicians, as we know, like Lindsey Graham, that says that Trump shouldn't pardon him, and Kenneth is on that list of the 14 that were on that list with Trump when he signed the pardon. There were 14 names on there, but he brought up 6, and the 6 that he brought up was Jeremy Brown, which he just got out yesterday. But the things, from what I understand, once all the stuff like what Ken was charged with and everything else, that was all falsified records of the FBI, and those are files. So once those files are released and into thing, which there's lawyers and everything else that are handling, Angel could tell you about that. There's a contact she has that's directly with Trump. And what happens is once they get all those files, because they were done also not only federal, but they were done locally also. So these things, because, Kenneth has to see a parole officer and stuff like that. Until now, he couldn't. When he started his parole thing, he can't play games. He couldn't get on the internet. He couldn't do a whole bunch of stuff. But Angel, tell him about the food they served at the
Oh
wonderful
God.
gulag.
Yeah, Ken had a lot of issues, just like a lot of the other guys that was at the DC Gulag. They would get their food, and their food would have mildew. It would be rotten, look like it's been sitting for days. Sometimes it would smell like chemicals.
I'll be back.
Like, yeah, sometimes it would smell like chemicals, and they had to rely on us sending commissary money to be able to get them some commissary food so they can have something to eat, even though if you have high blood pressure, if you have any kind of medical problems in that department, that's a lot of sodium in that food that they have to get off a commissary.
Yeah,
that is not nutritional food at all. That caused more medical issues, and if you don't have commissary, they would starve you. Ken had to go 24 hours without food because they would not feed him. They locked him in his cell, the cell he was sleeping in. They locked him in and would not allow him to eat. That was in DC Gulag.
I don't even know how they can get away with that, really. I mean, but they're doing it, but I don't know how they can.
Because the warden lets them.
Yeah.
The warden does not pay attention. The guards, sometimes they don't even turn on their cameras, even though they're supposed to have their cameras on whenever they walk into themselves.
That's just crazy.
Yeah. And there is good guards in there, but those good guards get fired as soon as they do a good deed. And they find out there's wrongdoing. We know a few of them that actually got fired because they reported the food, they reported the drinks, they reported any abuse, and they actually got fired. They lost their jobs because they went to report it to the warden, and they end up getting fired.
Yeah, people need to learn about what's been going on the inside there. You know, the narrative was spun so much by the mainstream media and the politicians, and domestic terrorism, insurrection, all that stuff, and they took people and they put them in a corner, and then they did everything they did inside like that, and it's horrific. It's horrific what he was put through inside, and the other people too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, and then they had all kind of controversy up inside the DC jail with the guys. I mean, sometimes they would have their good days, sometimes they would have their bad days. Yeah. But it's just we have to, when we get the call from them, that's the hard part, is we have to listen to them. I had to keep it to myself if I had any problems at home, because there was nothing he can do about it because of where he was at. Yeah. And even though I was getting harassed and all that, I actually reported it to my local police department, these postcards. And I actually had people drive by my house. And good thing I live in a very Republican neighborhood because I'm not the only one that has cameras. Mm. And I reported it to the police, but nothing never came about on that. Nothing.
These postcards and stuff. Are you guys still getting that yes. kind of harassment? I mean, just throwing it out there.
I get them, and Ken's starting to get them too.
Maybe that's something that's got to get into the FBI's hands, since it's like Trixie said, send them in the mail. It's a federal issue.
It is.
Yes. U.S. Postal Inspector.
Yeah, because
with the right people at the FBI, maybe it would get looked at.
Because that's also mail fraud. That's mail fraud because they're using fake addresses. Because when Kim was in jail, they were using my name, like I was sending him the postcard.
Oh wow!
I've reported it to the Postal Service. I've reported it to the governor's, not the governor, the congressman's office here, Congressman Posey's office, before it got changed.
Wow, and that's some sick people taking the time to do that, and send them in your name too.
Yeah, I received one that also was talking about raping me and my stepdaughter.
Oh, that sounds like
Yeah.
that would
And-
go to the FBI for sure.
Yeah.
The
I mean, that's a
police,
threat.
my local police actually has a copy of that.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
American Mark saying in the chat that you got to get to the U.S. Postal Inspector
I
on that.
did that already.
You did?
I've already reported it to
Yeah,
the
they-
Inspector General at the Postal Service. I've done the whole 9 yards, and
We got as the regime.
New
always,
new team in town though now.
Yeah. No sheriff is in town.
Yep. New
Thing
team.
that, and let me tell you how sick it is. At the villages they had they were going to do a fundraiser for the J6s, and it was all planned and everything. And some liberal moron decides to write a letter to the editor and accuse them of how could they have an event at the villages with cop killers and beating up police and all that stuff and everything else, which are false accusations. But because of the way the news media is and these liberal tarts that they are, they still bring up all the bullshit that the J6 committee brought up to put of how much, and they still do it. They still bring up that cops were killed that day on January 6th, which wasn't.
There's one thing they don't bring up is they don't bring up the exculpatory evidence that they crushed.
Yeah, actually,
They don't bring
Babbitt,
that up.
Grayson, and
Yeah.
what's it?
yeah, they refused to let Ken and the Oath Keepers, Ken and them, have in their trial. They refused to let the video show them helping Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because now it's out in the open. It's on the Blaze with Steve Baker. Steve Baker investigated it all.
Right.
Now it's out on the Blaze, and there's no hiding from that. There's no hiding from the truth.
Well, this is why we bring this up, because for the simple reason is people have to know that they don't listen to. I mean, the only one of Newsmax between Ed Henry brings it up about the J6s, and also Ed Henry was involved with the Justice for All song that was put out bringing President Trump in with Kash Patel, and also what's his name, Greg Kelly at nighttime is involved. Fox would never do that. Forget about all the other ones, but it's important that they bring it up to head, and that's why these Rumble, like we had the Wake Up Patriot stuff, have to bring this out to people to make them understand it, and this should be shared about what you went through, because we have heard what the J6s went through, but we haven't heard what the wives were going through. How many wives, like what's his name? What was that guy's name? I'm friends with him too. I forgot. The guy that his wife left him? He's a chiropractor, and he's
Hackett. Yeah,
Hackett. Yeah, Hackett. That's right. Joe. Yeah, well, nice guy, nicest guy you want to meet, and most of the ones. Most of the old keepers are veterans, either veterans or police officers, and then they finally opened it up to regular people to join. And out of the 14 that were on the list, 10 of them were oath keepers and 4 of them were Proud Boys. So, and there were people that weren't even there got arrested. So
yeah,
that's how the justice system was. That Angel. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I got to split in about a minute. I'm gonna leave. I gotta go in the car, and then I'll get back on the stream again. I guess I gotta go to the doctor to get my arteries checked to make sure the brain's still working. So on my neck.
I think the brain's okay. Let's make sure the arteries are
good.
I
just have to, I got to practice to beat the shit out of people, like I have to do. Protect my fellow Americans. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. Love you guys. Bye. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, the people in the chat are asking about those postcards and everything. Everybody's saying that you should definitely give them to Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, because those two seem to really, Kash Patel, he should, because he helped you guys out, with the J6 stuff.
I think that's so sick of somebody doing that. That's premeditation. That's so sick of somebody. Like, if people have their opinions, I get it, right? If somebody thinks that
it went as far as us losing his VA benefits and everything. I actually filed an audit through the VA of his medical records, because someone kept filing something trying to get us to not get our VA benefits. Well, they succeeded. So once I filed that, actually the guy that was sending the letters, he got fired because I reported him and told them they need to do something or I'm going to press charges for HIPAA violation.
Yeah, that is a HIPAA violation.
Yeah, because I didn't give him permission to go into his records because I have power of attorney. I still have power of attorney. And I went through this 4 times. They would cancel it, his VA benefits. I would fight, get them back. Then they would cancel it. That's 4 times. The last time I finally took it as far as the media. I took it to Brianna Morello. Love her to death. She helped me so much getting it out there. And she also contacted the VA with me. I gave her permission to discuss on my behalf and my husband's behalf.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wouldn't have been for her helping me with that, I would probably still be fighting it. And it's just, I got it back, but I had to go a different route, which I get checks sent to me under my name instead of it going to Ken. They still haven't transferred it back to his name. So I'm getting his VA benefits instead.
Wow.
It's called an apportionment. And I was very detailed on what I spent money.
He's still not getting his benefits from the VA?
He's not getting it. I'm getting it. It's coming in my name because they haven't transferred it back to him.
Okay. But he could still go
to
the doctor. And okay.
Right now, he's not allowed to go on base.
Wow.
Because his security clearance, all of that, they still got him listed as a domestic terrorist.
Unbelievable.
Because, he only got commuted sentence. He didn't get a pardon or anything. So he's still listed as a domestic terrorist.
So that's where they're cutting the line at then, right there. Instead, because of the commuting, that's what they're considering he is.
But see, at first I didn't understand the commuted because he had already served his time. He got out in April of last year. And when they said commuted sentence, I'm like, well, he's already out. He already served his time. Why commuted?
Yeah.
But he was on probation for 2 years. They gave him probation, 24 months probation. Well, he couldn't do anything. And finally get a letter and a phone call from the probation officer just a couple of weeks ago. He's finally off of probation. But he still has all the convictions, all of that.
So he didn't get his record wiped clean. He just doesn't have to face any more consequences.
A lot of the guys that are pardoned, their records ain't wiped clean either.
Oh, see, now that's what I assumed when they did the pardon, that all their records would get wiped clean. See,
no,
that's interesting to know because I bet you there's probably a lot of people that don't know that. You assume with the pardon that everything's good. So that affects his gun rights and everything too, then.
When you pardon, that they actually have to go in. I don't remember what it was, but I know you have to actually get them to erase the record or anything like that. As of right now, the convictions are still there, but they're pardoned, they're excused, or how do you put it? Forgiven. That's the word I'm looking for. You're forgiven. A pardon is forgiving.
But it's not a wipeout. So I got it now. I just, I assumed that everything got wiped out and their rights went back to what they were and everything, but then that's not true.
No, there's a lot more to it. You can also look it up for your state on the government website or any of that, and you can look up what a pardon is and what a presidential pardon is as well. It just a clemency. It's listed. You can look it all up. I looked it up for the state of Florida. I looked it up for the United States, and that's what I understood. Mm-hmm. At first, I thought it was a complete pardon. Everything's erased, but it's not. Wow. It doesn't work like that.
Wow.
There's a lot more to it than just.
They can't even go to the PK. They go to the place that go get the food cheap for veterans and stuff. They're on a list. They're on a terrorist watch list. They can't even fly. That the pardon doesn't mean that it's all of them. Everything has to be all cleared by the states and everything else, which the governor should get in charge and part of it. So I don't know what the hell they're waiting for, but it's got to be a complete pardon. Even the governors of the states, of all the individuals of the J6s are. Because a lot of people think, oh, they got pardoned, that's it. And that's why, we bring up the pardons all the time about, Biden gave out 8,000 pardons. But these people think they're free. They don't understand what situation they got. It's going to be big. And that's why, Trump did the pardons. But everybody thinks, oh, they got pardoned and everything is over. And we keep on repeating the same thing, that it keeps on going back to the jurisdictions of where the things are happening, So that's the problem.
Well, that's why it's even important, if any of these folks, like including your husband, get pulled over by police, if they're still deemed as domestic terrorists, whatever, as the officers are approaching the car, that's all they know, probably, right? So
Yeah.
For safety reasons, they probably have to be even more careful out in public with some stuff.
It's dangerous for the J6ers. Because of that, it's dangerous. I consider it dangerous because me and my husband could get pulled over, and because he's listed as an oath keeper and domestic terrorist, it's putting our lives in danger too.
Yeah.
If he gets pulled over and a cop is against it,
that's what happened.
There is some.
That's what happened to that J6 that got shot.
Yeah.
Right.
It's already has happened, right out there.
People don't. Like I said,
it happened to a couple of J6ers because there was another woman too.
Yep.
There's a couple of them.
So
she was on the sidewalk.
There were a total of 3. Yeah. I think the other one was in Oregon or Washington State or Oregon.
Washington, I believe.
Getting out of the car going to work. Yeah, she's just getting out of the car to go to work, and some guy up to and shot her. It was a woman.
I haven't heard no more about it.
Well,
was it
this stuff? Like I said, I hope everybody in the chat shares this. Shares the.
You got to speak, George. We're having a hard time hearing you.
George, a lot of people are saying keep your eyes on the road.
I got my eyeballs on the road. But I thought it was important for me with my wonderful angel to get her on the show. So I got to be part of it.
There's a lot. There's a lot in the past 38 months. There's a lot that I've had to deal with out here. I'm the one that conveyed everything to the attorneys because the attorneys weren't allowed to see them. I'm the one that had to deal with the backlash of everything. And if I didn't agree with someone, of course I received some backlash about it. I got a lot of threats, and it was a lot of heartache because I've also had to deal with everything on the home front as well. The bills, trying to figure out where's the next check coming from. I got fired from 4 jobs. Started my own business because I got fired from 4 jobs because of the fact of who my husband is. So I said to hell with everybody and started my own business. And I started it with no money. I just sell t-shirts. I embroider patches. Now I have a $5,000 machine. It took me a year to pay it off, but I have it, and I embroider patches. I do all what I can to help pay the bills. And I remember the first Christmas, me and the kids had to sleep in a hotel because my house flooded. My pipes busted under my floor. And I know if it weren't for Cynthia with Patriot Freedom Project, they helped me pay for my plumbing to get redone and she paid for the hotel room because I would have had to sleep in a house full of water.
Wow.
And it took the plumber a couple days for them to get all the plumbing redone because they would have had to broken up my floor. And I didn't want that because I would have had to pay a construction worker to come in here and have to replace my floor too. So that would have been double the money. I was looking at $16,000 instead of paying a small amount. So there was a lot of issues at home, and I know Ken, every time I would tell Ken something in the beginning, I've learned not to say anything whenever there was trouble at home because it would upset him, and there was nothing he could do about it. So I had to deal with it by myself.
That's rough. That's really rough.
Yeah. And teenagers. And at the time I had teenagers.
Yeah. And they're a handful at that age too.
Yeah.
A lot of trouble. And then when you don't have support to help you out, being single, basically doing it by yourself, that's rough.
Yeah.
At that age. There's a lot of back talking that goes on, and not to have the support of your husband, it had to have been hard.
It was very hard. It was a lot of tears, a lot of sweat, trying to learn, watching YouTube, trying to learn how to do things on my own so I wouldn't have to borrow money or ask for money. And, I can get very creative. I can fix things. I've learned because my mom was a single mom when she raised me, and she taught me a lot of things. But there was some things I had to get on YouTube and figure out how to do it myself. I even fixed our own diesel truck by myself, so I wouldn't have to go spend the money.
What a woman!
You end up becoming very resourceful when you're doing it by yourself. I remember hanging in my well pit at 4:00 in the morning, unfreezing my points on my well. So I know what you're talking about. You end up doing a lot of things that you never thought in your wildest imagination you'd be doing.
Yeah, and I was going to events to speak. I went to Virginia. I went speaking at an event in Virginia at Patriot Summit. I went there. I went speak over there. I went all over in Florida. I went speak at quite a lot of places in Florida. I've also did a lot of interviews in the past 4 years just to try to get attention to people to hear about our story and other J6 family stories. I tried to get the word out in any way I could. If I couldn't afford it going, I would try to do it just over interviews. It was a lot. And I was stressed out. I ended up gaining 50 pounds because I was so stressed and depressed. And my doctor our doctor kicked us to the curb because they didn't want to get the harassments because we was going there. Because I don't know why, even though I didn't have no issues with the doctor. But I did find out later, TRICARE dropped our doctor.
Oh.
And it's hard to find a good doctor that does not rely on, you need to take this, you need to do that, all these vaccines and whatever. I don't even know where there's a doctor here in Titusville. I just do it online.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but everybody in chat wants to know how to get a hold of you to donate or buy some of your embroidering and everything. So I don't know how you want to do that. Maybe you can explain if you want people to use your email or contact George or what.
Yeah, they can send me an email. I'll send them the information. It's angel@angelspatriotbattle.org. And my website that they can buy patches and order patches is angelspatriotbattle.org.
Angelspatriotbattle.org. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys, I hope everybody in chat got that.
She has a website. She has a webpage where you can.
Yeah.
Well, if you email me the address, like where it is, I can post it up too for you, so that
I can do that.
Yeah, that way people in chat can get a hold of you if they spell it wrong or something in the.
I can send it to you in text.
Okay, that's fine. Just that way I can put it up tomorrow when we do the show. I can put it along the bottom too, so everybody has the correct one. But they're posting it in chat now. Angelspatriotbattle.org.
Yep.
So everybody's got it. So
okay,
they're posting it in the chat one after another.
She's got an American business going here.
Mhm.
Yep.
Right? It's got a good American business going here. It's good.
Yeah.
Tell people in the chat not to be cheap to buy stuff.
Yeah, support
George.
American businesses, American products.
All right. Well, you heard George. Don't be cheap. Don't be cheap.
That's going to be on George's
No,
gravestone. Don't be cheap.
Yeah, one thing I want to say is there's a lot of J6 fundraisers out there. You got to make sure a lot of them are, you got to make sure about the designs, if they're legit or not. And the best one to find out is from Angel. She'll tell you. That's one
Yeah.
of the that
Yeah. If you look on the bottom, it says hashtag J6 supporter.
Yeah, that's a nice patch.
And I just did this one last night. I didn't finish. I still got to put the backing on.
Oh, I like
Pink
that
camo.
one.
And it has Florida on the bottom. You could put any state. Now this one right here is actual real camo material, military grade.
Those are nice. Very nice.
Yeah, we did when we started those patches. I got them done. They were charging us so much money, and whatever the profit was, I was selling for 10, and then I wrote out checks, whatever the profit was to them, to that organization that you mentioned before. And what happened was, it's funny that people don't want to donate, but if you sell them something, they'll pay for it and pay the extra couple of dollars instead of doing direct donations. That it amazed me about that, about selling the patches, that they would buy the patch instead of just sending directly $10 to the fund for the J6s. So they wanted something, and it's great. It's a great memento and the support, like the Angels doing these patches to support her and everybody. It's great that it can be done, because it's important to support the J6s because they're still being tortured, even that they're out. It doesn't, the jobs, they need cars. People need cars. Like Kelly May needs a car, and these people need stuff, and they can't apply for loans and stuff like that because of what they're tagged as.
Yeah, and that's one thing I would rather everyone buy something than donate money, because I want to work for the money. I don't want to be given something for nothing.
Papa Bear
It would
says,
make me feel better.
Papa Bear says in the chat, you also do some custom work too.
Yes, I do. I can. So if anyone wants me to do something custom, and I could give you a quote, I could also let you know if I can digitize it to where I can embroider it. You can just send me an email.
She does beautiful work. She did a couple of patches for us too.
I'm fixing to do a coat of arms patch for a customer. I just finished digitizing it. It's going to be 10 inches.
Wow.
Oh, that's good. Yep.
Well, somebody asked here, do you have a Twitter page or X page?
I did at one point. I got booted just recently in October.
Okay,
I do have a new one. I do have a new X page. It's Angel_Ken09.
Okay. They were asking in the chat. Somebody was asking if you had one so they could follow you.
Yeah. Well, I used to be Cajun Queen 43 on X till I got banned.
And I think a lot of us gotten that once or twice already now.
They still have not reinstated my account, even though I've sent them 14 so far. I've appealed it 14 times.
Wow.
And still have not.
That's crazy. You should
that was my business account. That was my business X account.
Yeah, you need to make up a new email name so they don't know it's you or something.
Well,
and then make a new account.
I did. I used my husband's.
Yeah. There's always ways to get around it, but you got to be careful. I know.
Yeah, I just started it though, so now I got to work my way back up to my 35,000 followers that I had.
Wow. They wiped you out with 35,000.
They wiped me out. 35,600 and something followers, and quite a bit of them are my customers.
You got to do TikTok. You're gonna have to do that one.
I do have TikTok.
TikTok.
On TikTok, it's under Cajun Queen 43.
Okay.
On TikTok.
Another question from chat is, where in Louisiana exactly are you?
I'm not in Louisiana. I left Louisiana in 2012, and I've been in Florida. I'm in Central Florida.
She left Louisiana, just that her accent didn't leave her. The Louisiana accent didn't leave her.
No,
Yeah,
I will always have my accent.
That Cajun accent stays.
Yeah, my whole entire family lives in Louisiana, in South Louisiana, south of I-10, I should say.
Oh, I know where that is. My mom lives close off of I-10, but in southern Alabama.
Oh, see, where I'm from is south of New Orleans, very south.
Well, you can tell you say it really nice. we butcher it up here when we say it.
New Orleans.
Yeah. Oh.
Anyway, but yeah. Well, Angel, I tell you, it's great to share your story. For the simple reason is to enlighten people about what's going on. So,
Yeah,
the pain and suffering still hasn't stopped, and it's still going on, and people must realize that, and that's what's important. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But Angel, thanks a lot. Appreciate you. Big hug and kisses. I'm waiting for my gumbo. I'll keep on bringing that up.
I'm ready to cook it.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks for coming on. It was really great having you.
Thank you for having me on. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah. Well, you're very informative. It enlightened a lot of people on what's going on, you know?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot more. It's just other people have different kind of stories than I do. But when it comes to the wives, some went through, there was one wife that actually lost she had a miscarriage because of her husband, the FBI going into their house. Yeah, it's sad.
Wow.
So there's ones that went through worse than I did.
Yeah. Well,
but you can only imagine hearing my story and then someone went through it worse than me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. But I'm going to say thank you so much for coming on, and thanks, George, for asking her. It was really great.
Thank you, George. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Angel. Have a great day.
Y'all have a good day.
I want my gumbo.
You get it.
Your gumbo.
And your cookies too, George.
Yeah, no.
Food sources on this podcast.
Yeah, he gets food mailed all the time, huh? All right, bye.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.
That was a story, huh? I mean, that was
nice. It was good. It was good having her. So we got a couple minutes yet. You guys what should we do, the trivia?
Yeah, good idea. Yep.
All right. I got some questions here. I'm going to show everybody what you're going to get if you get it right. We got Trump money again, but you can't actually spend it unless you want to go to jail. So we mail it out for you. So that's what the prize is. And this is what I've got my paper. So the question is, who was the primary author of the U.S. Constitution? And so I've got the chat and I'm going to start watching. So you guys go ahead and figure out who was the primary author of the U.S. Constitution.
Speaking of Trump money, did I just see something that they're talking about proposing a $250 bill with Trump's face on it? Did you see that?
Ooh.
That will get the left in crazy.
Okay, we got
mode.
Jasper. Tom Jefferson. Denise isn't going to play because she wins too much.
Yeah, if you win already, you're not getting nothing.
Red says Sean Lucas, her moron congressman.
No. I think Red Ginger's talking about what I said about $250 bill.
Loves Thomas.
Benjamin Franklin's nay.
Wait, okay, I'm back to super. I'll keep going. I'm trying to write. You guys are going too fast.
Wait a minute. So you got.
I'm on nay, loves. Okay, super. Now I'm down to Red Ginger.
All right, Red Ginger is James Madison.
Okay.
One citizen is Jefferson. TSM Money is hedging their bet with two names: James Madison or John Adams. I think you got to choose one of them, though, right?
Yeah, got to be one TSM.
Serafina is Thomas Jefferson. Man K, James Madison. Florida for Trump, Jefferson. T. Augie, Jefferson. Jules, Jefferson.
Wow.
American Mark, Donald Trump.
Cut it out, Mark.
I think that was just something else, though. I don't think that was to the thing.
Making me write stupid stuff down, Mark. Don't do that.
Loves Christ is John Hancock. Energy, John Adams. Well, we got a lot of people today in this.
Everybody wants Trump bucks, so that
Yeah.
but you can't spend them.
MK Hart, John Adams. ML Heath, Alexander Hamilton. T. Augie said I already won. Skip me.
Yeah, okay.
Little Chicky, Hamilton.
Okay.
I'm sorry, USN Aircrew, Hamilton.
Okay.
Beach Cat says Franklin, but not sure. And I think that's it. We're
Okay.
closing it out now. Let's see.
Yeah, because we got quite a few.
Yep.
Well, DTAF has got. Wait, I saw DTAF.
DTAF just came in under the wire. James Madison.
All right, we're gonna announce it tomorrow, and so we'll do it on Thursdays, and then announce the winner on Fridays, so everybody doesn't have to wait a whole week because things get messed up. But we'll do that. Announce that one tomorrow, and then Frisky Fridays tomorrow, our fun day.
Maybe we'll have some info on this. How about this Gene Hackman death, right? With his wife and the dog, apparently, that are saying that it was maybe no foul play indicated, but they're probably talking about could be carbon monoxide poisoning or something.
That
possibly.
sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yep.
To be all three of them like that with the
very
dog?
strange. Yeah, very strange.
Yeah.
I've seen somebody saying he's got the goods on Hollywood. Who knows, right? Who knows if it's something that's
Well, that's why he moved there.
But that's another thing. Speaking of Hollywood, the list, some part of this Epstein list is supposed to be coming out today, correct?
Woo!
So we'll have some stuff to talk about tomorrow with that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have some.
I'm
Epstein
excited for
talk.
that one, for the Epstein list. And then I saw people were talking in the chat that there was a bug found in the Resolute desk when they were restoring it.
I heard that. I haven't seen that. I mean, I've seen that like blurbs out there, but I haven't seen it really reported. So I don't know what to believe on that.
Yeah, well,
but
I don't know. There was, what the heck did I saw? There was something too about, I saw on the Spook Report on X that when Kash Patel had officers go into the FBI at 3:00 in the morning and they caught a couple generals in there shredding papers and that they arrested them. And I can't find if that one's true or not, but I've seen it over and over yesterday in quite a few different places from different sources.
I mean, I think there's so many people that drop stories and maybe the story gets, like the old telephone game, right? The story gets fabricated.
Yeah.
I would think if there was a bug in the Resolute desk, I would think Trump would probably say something at one of these press conferences he's at. I would think Trump would probably hold it up and say, look, people. Yeah, I mean, I just.
Right. Well, he said it yesterday. He said it yesterday in Pete's ear, right, about the generals. I would fire them. How he leaned over to Pete. They said I'd fire him.
Beach Cat says some say bugs, some says boogers.
That's what I was reading. Some say bugs and some say boogers. Yeah, it was probably boogers, man.
Maybe that's part of the maybe that's part of the telephone game. Hey, Trump found boogers from Elon's kid, and then it got to Trump found bugs from the deep state or whatever, right? So
I think that's why he sent the desk out, not because of the buggers, but I think because of the plants that were left there from the previous administration.
Well, he's a germaphobe and everything too, so you know.
Yeah, he was many years ago. He wouldn't even touch your hand and stuff. But then once he really got into it, he shook hands on the jobs when I was on. It was fine. He was very about he's very sensitive about a whole bunch of things because of the way people are, But But because he got into politics, he ain't that much Germany, babe. Especially, he figured he's protected good now because God saved him, especially the assassination attempt. So you couldn't ask for better than that. And don't forget, again, let's remind everybody he was shot at 6/11/33, and in Ephesians on 6/11 says, "Put the armor of God, upon you to protect you from evil and Satan." So everybody, that's a good quote to remember. And the number 33 is the sign of angels. So, and I got a split. So goodbye, everybody in the chat. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to get my artist checked in my next chapter thing.
Good luck, George.
George.
All right, George is going to clear out. And tomorrow, we got what? Frisky Friday tomorrow. All of us will be here, and we'll announce the contest winner tomorrow. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan. And probably talk about some Epstein things tomorrow.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, be interesting.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow morning.
So long, everybody. Bye-bye.